Mr. Speaker, I speak with a lot of experience because I have lived virtually my entire life in an area where there has always been conflict. Mr. Speaker, I was 5 years when the first conflict started in my area. By the time I got to, Mr. Speaker, 15 years, there was another 19 years, there was another conflict, and a third conflict when I was 20 years. I've seen how soldiers operate, I've seen how police operate, I've seen how combatants operate. So, sincerely, I speak with that experience. And so I'm very impartial when it comes to issues of Bawku and the surroundings. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, that two members from the opposing side, one believes that the chief sentencing matter has been settled, Honorable Ayariga, and the honorable member for Nalego believes that the chief sentencing matter has never been settled. That's what he said. He said no court has ruled in Ghana. And you believe that the court has ruled it has been settled. That is the source of the conflict. If members of parliament who represent people are here and they have divergent views, which their views can kill people, that is the source of the conflict. But what do? Soldiers have now been put in the middle of this conflict. Remember, the soldiers are human beings like us. And they have now been put in the middle of this conflict. But Mr. Speaker, there have been political will from the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government. So let not be said that there's not been political will. The then chieftaincy minister, the honorable member for Hunter West, went to Bawku and made the people of Bawku aware that as long as the Bawku Naba is attending the regional House of Chiefs and the National House of Chiefs, we in government recognize him as the legitimate Bawku Naba. Mr. Speaker, that is the first time that a government in our history has done that. No other government in our history has ever done that. So let it be known by those who think that there is no political will, that there's been political will from this side of the house. Because no government in our history. Two, Mr. Speaker, I went to Bawku with the Honorable Minister of Interior. In fact, when I was going to Bawku, I called the Honorable Member of Parliament for Bawku and told him that we are going to your constituency. I will be happy for you to accompany us. He told me he was in Nigeria, so he was not. He was wishing us well. Even though when he came, he didn't get back to me to hear what happened. Mr. Speaker, and I told them, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is now the chief whip of this side, front bench. So rising like this it should tone down. I've sat at that side before. Mr. Speaker, I went there and both of us made the people of Bawku, both at the Bawku Naba Palace and at the Mankugu site, we told them point blank that there is a Bawku Naba in place and anybody who feels that it is not to go to court. And the man president said, we will go to court. And for that matter, we pledged amongst ourselves, them and us, that everybody will lay down their arms. They will not go in a fight. And for 2 months, not a single gunshot was heard in Bawku. So I want to believe, and we have taken the position, Mr. Speaker, that what is happening in Bawku today is not about chieftaincy. It's criminality. It's criminals who are operating. And the members of the armed forces to deal with them as pure criminals. I want the members of parliament to let their people know that we are dealing with them as pure criminals. There's nothing called Bawku chieftaincy. There is a legitimate chief of Bawku. The man process have said they will go to court. The Nigeria has said he will go to court and challenge the matter. That's all that we know. We want the members to assist us. If they have voices there, which I know they do, to let the boys know that there is not
Yes, Honorable Leader, what's the matter?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my respected Honorable Member, the Minister of Defense. It was really on the right track, but his speech at the later points is generating debate. This is a statement. We do not want the minister to, in his contribution, to generate a debate. And he knows what to do, Mr. Speaker.
Can you tell me
what must focus on the issues that has been raised, the killing of the people of Bawku Central. He can talk about the root causes, but please don't generate debates.
Can you leave that to me? I'll moderate it. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the issues I mentioned are germane to the issues raised by the honourable member, and he knows. And if not, just seek his advice. He will tell you that the issues I mentioned are what will cure the issues of Bawku. Ask him, he will tell you. This is a house of record. People are going to take the statements I'm making and dissect them. If as Minister for Defense, I'm not prepared to tell the truth, the Bawku issues can never be resolved. I will tell the truth as it is. And I'm not standing here to tell the truth. I was in Bawku to say what I am saying today. So I asked them in Bawku, what are you fighting for? What at all are you fighting for? Because it is no more about chieftaincy. So when you take assault rifles, Mr. Speaker, Bawku is awash with assault rifles. Bawku is awash with assault rifles. Rifles that should be held by the men and women of Ghana Armed Forces. Young civilians are holding them and shooting as if there's no tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, if we don't treat Bawku as a special case by the armed forces, it will lead to problems in this country. That is how the issue of Nigeria started. And unfortunately, some people treated it with kid gloves, and today we have Boko Haram in Nigeria, nobody can control it. Mr. Speaker, the matter the Member of Parliament raised is under investigation by the Ghana police. Mr. Speaker, the matter is under investigation by the Ghana Police Service. The military have released a statement. The people have made statements, and the Ghana police is investigating. We are waiting the outcome of that investigation. In fact, the Member of Parliament has taken the thing to scratch already. They are also investigating the matter. So two state bodies are already investigating this particular matter. But Mr. Speaker, is it not curious that anybody in this world would condemn members of the armed forces and believe that it is possible for the members of the armed forces to tie the hands of civilians and shoot them in broad daylight in the presence of other people? When today, in today's world, when somebody can record you, you think that anybody will do that? I'm not saying that what you are saying is a lie or is the truth. You say it is eyewitnesses. But think of it, that people, members of armed forces know. As members of parliament, when you campaign, you will see that the moment you start talking, people are holding their mobile phones. You've seen it. And you believe that by now those videos are not out. I beg you, let us be cautious and treat everybody as innocent until they are proven guilty. So I want to beg members of parliament not to start condemning the acts and believing that it is a true story because eyewitnesses have said that. Wait till the evidence comes out. And I can assure you, because this is the highest crime that anybody can commit. It's a war crime. And the members of Ghana Armed Forces are not trained for that. They have earned the highest praise across the world, both in this country and outside this country. So it is very, very sad for anybody to paint a picture that members of the armed forces of Ghana are capable of tying the hands of four individuals and shooting them and leaving them. But Mr. Speaker, if I were just to take the statement made by my colleague, his own statement does not support the views of the eyewitnesses. Mr. Speaker, he says that the 5 people who were executed include the following. First, he says 6, but he says 5. 1, Abugna Karim. The eyewitnesses say that Abugna Karim was chased by the military using armored vehicles and people on foot. I'm just analyzing his statement. At no point did he himself conclude that Karim was killed because his hands were tied at the back. And Mr. Speaker, if you read through Mahdi, Issa, Mumuni, and Kudus, at no point did he conclude in his statement, even though he started by saying they were tied and killed, that these people were tied and killed behind them. No. It is true that these people were killed. And I send condolences on the members on my behalf and on behalf of the military, as well as on behalf of the Ghana Armed Forces to the families. But let the investigation come out first. 2, Mr. Speaker, what are the facts of the case? The night preceding the day that this incident happened, there was a 10-hour battle in Bawku that day. There was shooting throughout the entire Bawku that night. I just want members to sit down and digest the whole night that was shooting in Bawku throughout the night. And the soldiers were engaging various factions at various times. Does anybody think that it is possible that young children in the early hours of the morning can be out and be witnessing people shooting when the whole night they were shooting? But unfortunately, the integrity of the armed forces, which is to protect you and me, have been shredded to pieces. Unfortunately, the integrity of the armed forces has been shredded to pieces. There was a 10-hour battle in Bawku. And remember the first statement I made, that Bawku is not about chieftaincy any longer. And that is why we have Kusasis and Mamprosis in Garu and they are not fighting. That is why we have Kusasis and Mamprosis just 10 kilometers in Binduri and they are not fighting. That is why we have Kusasis in his constituency and they are not fighting. That's why we have Kusasis in Tempani, her constituency, and they are not fighting. Kusasis and Mampros, they are not fighting. That's why in Puswa, which is also another 15 kilometers away, or 20 kilometers, they are not fighting. That is why in Gambaga we have close to 5,000 Mamprosis living in Gambaga and Nalegu. They are not fighting. Your constituency, they are not fighting. It's confined to Bawku town alone. If it was purely chieftaincy, it would have spread to all these constituencies and minor. They are killing each other in these places. But I want to applaud both tribes that they've taken the chieftaincy out of this matter and said they will take it to court, so that the military and the police and the security agencies can deal with this matter as a pure criminal matter. And if we are to deal with it in that sense, we should analyze Bawku in 3 incidents. 1, that there was a chieftaincy problem is being resolved. 2, the aftermath of the chieftaincy issue is mixed with this, but it's been resolved. But 3, the threat of terrorism hanging around Ghana through the corridor of Bawku. So, the security agencies are working within the Bawku and its precincts with that sort of mindset that if we do not stop what is happening in Bawku now and now, we risk the situation where Ghana can be thrown under terrorist attacks. For the first time, Mr. Speaker, 3 days ago, improvised explosive device was used for the first time in this country to try to blow a bridge. Don't let us joke with Bawku. I sympathize with the family, and let's call for the investigation. But trust me, don't let us joke with even the young men and women who are operating in Bawku. on earth can any Ghanaian go and improvise an explosive device and blow a bridge? Go there. You said you went there. Go back and see the sort of bridge that they try to blow off. And that is how terrorists operate. Let's be very careful, Mr. Speaker, that yesterday, even when he wanted to make a statement, even when he had reported the matter to Strike, even when he was on air talking about this matter, yesterday, just in front of the police station, some unknown people used a tricycle, this what they call yellow. Mr. Speaker, drove to a group of people sitting down and started spraying them with assault rifle. It led to the death of 2 people. And this dawn, this night, women who were moving with tomatoes in their car were also shot at, attacked and shot at, and a woman is dead. Other tribes that have nothing to do with this matter are dead. Let's be very careful who we choose to talk for in Bawku. I want to plead with you, Pope. Let's be very careful who we choose to talk for in Bawku. So, Mr. Speaker, I can say that government on its part has done what it has to do to ensure that Bawku is peaceful. As we say today, we have created a battalion in Bawku, 11th Mechanized Battalion in Bawku. So we have 400 soldiers in Bawku today. That's the first solution we have done. We are also building 400. We've moved from Bawku from about 50 soldiers to about 400 today. Mr. Speaker, we are sending a task force to Bawku just for only Bawku, no more Conquer Fix, nothing. Another 500 soldiers to Bawku, just Bawku alone, because of the threat of terrorism. These soldiers will be free to do other activities. But next week, we are doing that. That's why, Honorable Ayariga, I told you, come to the office and let me sit with you with the military command and let's discuss it. I told you before, 3 days ago, on Monday. Maybe if you had come and we start, maybe this statement would not have been made.
Yes, leader. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister has made certain statements which are personal to me. First about he inviting me to join him on a mission to Bawku. And like he said, I was outside the country. He calls me, so we are going to Bawku. When was this? Mr. Speaker, this was more than 1 year after the people of Bawku had been killing one another. That was the first time he went to Bawku. It's on record. More than a year, until the soldiers were complaining that you, the defense minister and the interior minister, had never visited them. And I brought the complaint to you. Now, you sit here and tell me that the soldiers and the police were complaining that you were never visiting them. You brought them to come, they are being exposed to death, and you, their commander, never stepped foot there to see them. Please, let's not talk personal here. I have sat down quietly and listened, not because I don't have responses. So, Speaker, where they kill the people, I'm pleading with you, go there. Go and see with your naked eyes. Please, my colleagues, have I ever, for the past 2 years, opened my mouth in this chamber and spoken about Bawku? Have I ever? Ask Honorable Muntaka, on several occasions, attempts have been made to make statements on Bawku here. I have fought it as Honorable Advocate. You are a witness. I have fought it. I've said, look, the situation there is very, very dangerous. We have sent soldiers there, people's children, to die for us. They will make mistakes. Make no mistake that they will make mistakes. But you don't hang them on any single mistake. Honorable Advocate, haven't I been fighting because of this? I have defended the soldiers. But, Mr. Speaker, on this occasion, I went there. I saw it. Mr. Speaker, there was no basis for killing those people. And that is why I'm speaking today. And I'm not choosing to speak for only Kusasis. That last statement you made, that we should be careful who we speak for. Please, I understand everything that you are saying there. I'm not speaking only for Kusasis. I'm speaking because people that ought not to have been killed were killed. Yesterday, the statement you made, the person who they came and surrounded and shot and killed, do you know that was my cousin? Do you know that? Have I spoken about it here? Have I spoken about it? That's my cousin yesterday who was surrounded and shot and killed. And I've been on the phone since morning. Every incident you are reporting, I know. I've tried my own way to prevent things. This morning, I was on the phone with my uncles among the Mampushis, discussing how we should resolve this matter. It's not everything I go on air to say. So please, don't import improper motives. These killings, and I call them killings, were done by soldiers needlessly. They've killed people. Ask the commander. They kill people. I call him. We discuss it. We resolve it. Ask the commander there. Lieutenant Colonel Minta. A Mampushi was shot and killed. I called him. I said, why did you kill this guy? He said he was holding a weapon. And tell your boys that anybody who holds a weapon and I see him, I will gun him down. Colonel Minta is there. I said, well, if he was holding a weapon and you gunned him down, there's nothing I can say. And he was a Mampushi. This time, you said you liquidated, you neutralized 6 people. I said, when you neutralized them, what weapon did you pick? Not even one. Your own statement says only one person was holding a cutlass. Somebody in a garden holding a cutlass. What do you expect him to hold in a garden, if not a cutlass? I have struggled through this conflict to manage and navigate. I've been very supportive, Mr. Minister. You know that. You met me in Salaga 2 days ago. All of us were attending a funeral in Salaga. You said, come to the office and let's discuss it. I said, fine, I'm available. When you are ready, call me. I will come. Do you know that after the funeral, I went to Tamale and had a meeting with the Northern Command? I went to Tamale, asked Lieutenant Colonel, is it ACN or whatever?
Honorable, very well.
Mr. Speaker, so don't create the impression that I'm not helpful and then you get up and then making statements.
You have responded to him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, kindly continue.
Speaker, I sat patiently for, Mr. Speaker, I sat patiently for 10 minutes for him to interject. Please. I sat patiently for 10 minutes for him to interject and try to interpret what I said in his own way. So I want to plead that nobody interjects me. 10 minutes. Mr. Speaker, it is not true that the conflict started after 1 year before. It's not a true story. Secondly, we never sent soldiers 1 year because of the conflict. It's not a true story. We created the 11 Mechanized Battalion and started posting soldiers there as their permanent bases. And they do their work. And I've been visiting all battalions. As and when, with the military command, we believe that it is necessary for me to visit. Two, Mr. Speaker, I did not go to Bawku immediately. I called the people of Bawku to Tamale and met them, and I told them. And in fact, I advised him that they shouldn't be part of that meeting. Ask him. Three, Mr. Speaker, when I say you should be careful who you choose to defend, it is not about tribe. Mr. Speaker, it's not about tribe. I said it in the context of the fact that I said Bawku is more of criminality than chieftaincy. So be careful who you defend. It's not about tribe. I never talk about tribe. Mr. Speaker, between December 31st and now, over 30 people have died from Bawku. So we should be very careful who we defend, because Bawku is not more the Bawku you used to know 2-3 years ago. Times have changed. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that we should all help to plug all the loopholes and cure the issues of Bawku. Because Bawku can lead Ghana into an abyss where terrorists can infiltrate into Ghana. So, Mr. Speaker, help the military and the security agencies so that the boys can lay down their arms. They can silence the guns. Please use your voices and appeal to them to silence the guns. Use your influence and appeal to the people to silence the guns. Mr. Speaker, use your influence as members of parliament to appeal to the people to lift the artificial boundaries that have been created in Bawku. And they know what I mean by the artificial boundaries that have been created in Bawku. Use your influence to allow people to go to their farms unhindered without being shot at. Use your influence to allow people to go to the market and trade without being hindered. Use your influence to allow people to travel freely from Bawku and in and out of Bawku without being accompanied by soldiers. Use your influence to tell the boys to sell the guns that they have, the AK-47 guns and the machine gun they have, and let's use it to do business instead of killing one another. That should be what we should be fighting for. That should be what we should use our influences for. But as for, Mr. Speaker, the 10 people who have died, like I said before, I want to give the military and the Ghana Armed Forces the benefit of the doubt now until investigation proves otherwise. I want to say that the law of Ghana is very clear. You are innocent until proven guilty. The investigations are being carried on and carried out. If there's anybody who is found guilty, that person will be punished. I want to give you the assurance that that person will be punished. But let all of us work carefully and conscientiously to build Bawku into a peaceful area. Because the issues of chieftaincy is no more available. It's not there. In fact, it should be by this time a situation where both the Nairi and Bawku Naba can come together and talk to the youth. This is what we should be striving at. We should be able to gather both the Mamprosis and the Kusasis together and say it is time for us to forge forward in peace. The hospital is collapsing, Mr. Speaker. The schools are collapsing in Bawku. And the people who are standing in between mayhem and peace are the people that, if we are not careful, if we demonize them today, we are going to have problems. So I want members of parliament, Mr. Speaker, I want members of parliament to rather help the members of the Ghana Armed Forces to bring peace to Bawku.